It is July 15th in the year 2019. I'm Alex Ansary. So we're right in that period, the quiet before the storm. You know, think about like before a car changes direction, it has to come to a stop. Think about the solar cycle. Think about the deep solar minimum. Now think about the signs that we're getting that we're in the first stages of solar cycle 25. Now, it doesn't mean that we're out of the storm yet, or out of the minimum, or out of the forest to the deep solar minimum, and the changes that it brings our world, the challenges that it brings our world. But there's also benefits to periods in which there is contemplation, there is pause, there is introspectiveness. So in this video, we're going to go over some key themes. Okay, so the power elite use the solar cycles to control the human species. We've been talking about the power elite as something beyond human, and I've been giving my analysis in a fairly unorthodox manner the last couple of years. A couple of points that I want to make. There's a lot of people that are experiencing what we might call targeting, and I believe it's a result of a number of different factors. It's not always, but it is sometimes, deliberate and intentional. In other cases, I think it's a mix of the disharmonic energies in the cell phone towers, in the coming 5G, and the geomagnetic storms, or other things that affect the field. In the book Solar Revolution, he does cite reports of people hearing voices in the head in and around geomagnetic storms. So as we go into the 2020s, the next couple of years, as we look at mental illness, various statistics skyrocketing, from murders to suicides. Look at where it is on the timeline, and look at all this information that was put out there. Now, we can look at algorithm suppression, search engine optimization, the fact that my blogs on otbtv.net aren't even appearing for some reason. And it's like, there are things happening now, even certain titles of YouTube videos. Fourth Horse Rising by Alex Ansary. Try to find it. It's a documentary I made. If you type in Alex Ansary documentary, you might find it. We're now in like the new dark ages of censorship. But not just with regards to the government, with humans. People have taken some things way too far. Okay. It's a different world. And I can testify to that as somebody that's been putting out content since 2005 on a regular basis. And so I've always had that ability to detect accurately whether the weather is going in a certain direction or not, whether the water is warm or cold. The true, accurate human behavior response to my content, year to year to year, right? The periods in which it seems like the people understand it and are helping to get the message out there and are helping to see it grow. Then there's the other periods. Now, what we are right now is in a period of rest and contemplation. I'm open to the universe, shine the light on new opportunities, for example. I also realize that after a very focused cycle of media activism, much of it on YouTube, a cycle is coming to a close. It doesn't mean that I'm done speaking. It means that there is something to this lunar eclipse of July 16th, 2019. It's literally the end of a 13-year cycle. Kind of a quinky-dink, because YouTube was launched in 2006, and so my first videos on YouTube would be back in March of 2006. My media activism, of course, starts with live cable access TV. People channel surfing and finding my show. Then it was YouTube. And the discussion is, as we're here in the quiet before the storm, and we've seen the difference in how the world has treated our message, certainly mine, the difference between the Bush years and the Obama years and today. We have to accurately forecast where we're going in the world of tomorrow. With Orwellian censorship, with economics. I mean, now we're in a situation where content creators like me can see our income destroyed. And they can limit our reach to where when we try to raise money, well, there's only so many people that are even catching the videos or watching the videos or seeing the updates for the videos. So those out of that core, say 100 to give an example, or 200 that can help are helping. And I understand that many people are basically living in their own Great Depression right now, and it is unfortunate. I would hope that there's ways in which we can come to some solutions as we look at the next phase of the depression coming at us. We're not in a full-scale depression at present, but we're on borrowed time. We're on borrowed time. And we're living in a day and age to where, by design, people have been turned against each other as we see these things come to fruition. What I want to do is experience the next wave of my own spiritual journey in this human body. Whether I remain here or whether I travel the west coast of the United States, Northern California would be a great place, or whether I do other things, travel throughout Colorado, or as I said, just stay exactly where I am. It's important to remember that wherever we go, there we are. And so I look at what I've been discussing, the essays that I posted at outsidethebox.vhx.tv in the public forum, and the things that I will be doing in the coming remaining weeks of summer with other essays. Also returning to an autobiography by hand, writing in a notebook. It's really important for me to lay out the chronology. I've been doing videos for the members at outsidethebox.vhx.tv. Please join if you can, right? There are hours and hours of videos. It's about nearly 100 videos that are there right now. And at present, I'm being more regular. Every week, there are more uploads. And I'm planning out content that's going to be there, not here on YouTube. It's important that people understand that the spin that I'm giving on the changes taking place in our world is like no other. You can't find a typical person out there talking about the sun in the same way. Doesn't mean that what they're saying is irrelevant. I'm expressing to you that there's a philosophy that I have that I'm encouraging other people to keep an open mind to. That various people alive today involved in commentary about the sun, whether it be at one phase or another, it's all a part of a larger group soul contribution to the completion of a key that will help us get through the door of the next evolutionary step. This is pretty key. That's why I even felt it a couple months ago, that the period that we are in now is certainly a period in which a lifetime of knowledge comes together and needs to be able to work for us. You know, these ideas are supposed to empower us coming across the truth. There are some people that think that they have woke by waking up to some element of a conspiracy theory, one of which may not be entirely accurate, even within the box of conspiracy theory. They may not even be even close to the top of the pyramid. They may be down at the base saying that they're woke. And so, you know, philosophy regarding what we're doing here on this planet, that's where I've always been. And that's what's always alienated me from every conceivable group or box and ethnicity and religion. Did I mention school sports? Also something that I wasn't into. Might as well be its own religion. I've always operated outside the box of many boxes and labels that have been designated in this human world, because this is a world in which at times I feel sentenced to it, to live out this incarnation until I remember who I truly am, or until I do the things that need to be done, to say the things that need to be spoken. And I'm convinced that you yourself may even have some responsibility that you either are or are not acknowledging. So I'm not here to attract followers or to build an organization. There is no organization. There isn't even like an active forum really regarding organization or anything. Certain attempts have been made on the most basic level regarding off-grid community, just like group survival. And I found out that that is not exactly what it's cut out to be. In the end, there's only one force I look up to when it comes to the help that I need in this world, in this universe. And in the end, there's only one force that's delivered the help that I need, even present. There's no need to get into every little detail of my struggles. But the deeper story behind the story is that my life is a story of survival against the odds. Whether it be bounced around between parents within a few years during the high school years, whether it be the 20s, whether it be coming up as an underdog in the alternative media, not becoming corrupted by joining the mainstream, but continuing to speak my mind and my truth, and dealing with the challenges that come in the physical reality, reaping more of the spiritual rewards that come from letting go of the things that bind me to this type of a world. Ultimately working for something higher than money. And that's a value system that not everybody is going to understand, and one could argue that it's even pointless to try to. I mean, it's one thing to try to like survive and eat. I'm talking about like to be going opposite of where a lot of people go with the fame and fortune and the big house and the trophy wife and all of the other things that so many men and women really are consumed with. Materialism, reaching for the golden ring. Ultimately, I want to know what it's like to be in the real world, to wake up from this kind of a dream, this kind of a simulation, to be back with my true family, to be reconnected where I'm truly from in the cosmos. You know, there's a lot of brainwashing taking place in this world that if people start remembering that they are from a more divine realm, and that many people are programmed to throw them under the bus and leave them rotting in the street. So I will say that there's actually a lot of mental illness in mainstream society from the people that have homes and have something that never have lost it all yet, that don't know what it's like to live on the road, to live with very few things, even less to have a YouTube channel, to build it up over 15 years, only to see a YouTube corporation cut it down, and some humans at the same time rendering my content irrelevant, in sync with the YouTube algorithm. That's creepy. In 2019, I saw how the machine began to influence humans at a rate never before seen. Is it because of the solar minimum and the lack of sunspots? Is that why we're seeing so much of an apathetic response to really critical information? Or is it something else? Is it the technology? Have they already rolled out 5G? So as I look at even cell phone towers in front of me popping out of the forest, I know that there's no escape, and I know that nowhere is perfectly safe, but I do know and I do believe that some places are safer than others, and that we ultimately work for the betterment and the evolution of our soul, and to be able to apply this knowledge towards the construction of that key that can help us eventually exit this world and re-enter the world that we are truly from. Not talking about an ascension within this lifetime to where we start floating. Talking about the reality of escaping the matrix, which has been a sole goal for some of us for a very, very long time. Now, in 2019, moving forward, we have more information than ever before about our predicament. So it's time to share that information. It's time to work with others. I leave everything in the hands of the Almighty and the universe with regards to if I am to have the means and ability, financially or others, to leave this place and travel the United States again, or whether or not it's my destiny to sit here in peace, taking in the air as it is, taking in the reality as it is, where I am, and accepting whatever comes. I'm Alex Ansari, reminding you the path to the ultimate truth and place of power still lies within.